Hey everyone, it's Chloe. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel. This video is going to be episode 1 of a series I'm starting on this channel where we're going to be rebuilding a salvaged 2020 TRD Pro Tacoma. Now this isn't my Tacoma, I didn't buy it, one of my friends did, but I definitely am going to be part of the build process and I wanted to document it because it's going to be a really interesting and busy project. I've never rebuilt a Tacoma or been part of a build process, and in fact the only experience I have with Tacomas is my own 2019 Tacoma, and I actually have pretty much no experience in rebuilding any other vehicle, so there's going to be a bit of a learning curve for me, but that's why I'm excited to be part of this project. I've known about this project for a couple months, so with my friend's permission now I'm really excited to just share everything about this Tacoma with you guys. In this first episode, I'm going to be giving you guys background info on this truck, or at least as much background information as we know, talk about the damage that was done to it and what we've done to it so far. And at the end of this video, we're going to be washing this truck because it's pretty dirty, and if you're familiar with me and this channel, you'll know that I'm obsessed with keeping my own truck clean, so I definitely wanted to clean this up as a favor since my friend's letting me be part of this and letting me document it for you guys. Now getting into a little bit of background and history on this Tacoma, or at least as much as we know, this truck came from the East Coast and I believe it came from New Hampshire originally, and my friend bought it from an auction website where the truck itself was $17,000, and then he paid an extra $2,500 to ship it from the East Coast to California, and then he paid another $2,500 to the auction website itself. So when he finally got the keys and the truck at his house, he had paid about in total $22,000. Now we don't really know much else about the truck's history other than that it was in a front-end collision in New Hampshire, and I think this truck was especially a good buy because it only has 2,000 miles on it, which is just so low, and it's also stock, and as far as we can tell the owner didn't really put any mods on this Tacoma, maybe because he was planning to and it was still new, or maybe he just never planned to do it. But anyways, this is a 2020 TRD Pro stock Tacoma with only about 2,000 miles on it. Now one of the cool things about the internet and about YouTube is that we can actually ask you guys if any of you guys know anything about this truck. Maybe it was one of your guys and you're watching this right now. We couldn't find anything about it on the internet, but maybe one of you guys knows. Like I said, we don't have much information on this, but I personally think this vehicle is really cool because it's a TRD Pro with low mileage on it. Now you guys are probably curious to see the damage more in detail, so let's go do a walk around of the truck right now. Alright, so this is what the Tacoma looks like up close. We're going to do a complete walk around on it, but since it was in a front-end collision, most of the damage was done up here, and the truck either hit or was hit up front here, which is why a lot of the sub-assembly is missing here and got damaged, and I'll talk about all the damage to the component and the sub-assembly in a second, but we're just going to do a quick walk around of this TRD Pro. So first off, if you're familiar with Tacomas, you'll know that the TRD Pros come with Fox shocks, and so this is completely stock to the Tacoma, and the TRD Pros also come with their own special TRD wheels, except for 2020 the wheels I think got a little bit of an upgrade. They kind of look more like the 4Runner TRD Pro wheels. I have those ones on my truck, but these ones are brand new to 2020 Tacomas. Before they were a lot more glossy. I think these are actually, I can't tell if they're supposed to be matte or glossy. I think there's a little bit of gloss to them, at least compared to my 4Runner wheels, but these are the new wheels for the 2020 TRD Pro Tacomas. And I believe these are the stock tires as well. They're the Goodyear Wranglers 265/70 R16s. Then with the TRD Pros, instead of the Tacoma badges, you get the TRD Pro badge on the passenger and driver's side doors. You can see that there's also damage to the back here, which I'm going to cover in a little bit. Missing taillight, which will get replaced. And then we have blacked out badges, which are stock to the TRD Pro, I believe. The bumper with the sensors, because TRD Pros are equipped with the tech package. Another thing specific to the TRD Pros is this TRD blacked out exhaust tip. It's quite dirty right now, obviously, but it used to be black. And this Tacoma, oh look, there's Cody. He's just chilling. under the truck. Hey Cody. Anyways, these taillights I think are also 2020 TRD Pro specific, because what's different than mine is I don't have this little black stripe slash divider thing. So I think these are slightly different than previous years slash models. The bed size is the 5-foot bed, so the short bed. And also, speaking of tail lights, the headlights aren't on right now, but this Pro was equipped with the 2020 Pro LED headlights, which looks super awesome. I'm actually looking into getting the same headlights, except not the Pro ones, just the LED OEM ones put on my 2019, but I have no idea if I need an extra wiring harness or if it's possible. So I've been doing a little bit of research, but since they just came out, I'm not exactly sure yet, but that's something I'd like to put on to my Tacoma too. And then also stock to the TRD Pros, which is also stock to the off-road, is you get the unpainted black fender flares. You don't get the color matching ones, and the reason for that is because if you go off-roading, you're probably going to get these scratched up. I personally like the blacked out fender flare look a little bit better, but if you guys like the color matched ones, let me know in the comments down below. Now on the inside, as you can see, basically every single airbag in the vehicle deployed because it was in a pretty severe collision. This is what the TRD Pro looks like on the inside, pretty similar to any of the other third gens 2016 and above, but unique to 2020 is you get this head unit, which I think is an Entune 3, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, that has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then this TRD Pro is equipped with crawl control. It has a sun slash moon roof. I actually am not super aware of the difference, but it has one. Since it has the premium and tech package, you can get heated seats, more adjustments for your temperature in your truck. Obviously, it's 4-wheel drive, so you can switch to 4 high and push and then get into 4 low. Part of the tech package is the blind spot monitors, which are indicated on your mirrors there and light up when another vehicle is in your blind spot. Everyone's favorite button, ECT power, which if you didn't know, changes the shifting points and just makes the transmission a lot smoother. I like turning it on, but obviously you get a lot lower gas mileage with it. The parking sensor, a button to open and close the rear window, a USB port, and turning on and off the Qi enable charger, which is down here, so the wireless charger for your phone. I'm not going to get into what every single button does in this 2020 TRD Pro. Maybe when we fix this up back to stock, we can do a complete truck tour and compare the differences of this 2020 with my 2019, but this was just kind of a little overview of what the 2020s look like on the inside. Also, if you hadn't noticed, the passenger seat is missing. That is because the airbags deployed off of it and we're currently replacing it. But also, forgot to mention, TRD Pros come with these custom leather seats. So definitely an upgrade from the cloth ones in mine. One of the funniest things about this Tacoma 2 was that in the pictures, when it was on the website for sale, the TRD Pro shift knob wasn't missing. And so of course my friend purchased the vehicle expecting nothing to be missing, and then when it finally came to his house, this was the one thing inside that was missing. And it's just hilarious how either the car shipping guys or someone on the auction, or I don't know, if someone came in the salvage lot. It's not worth much, I think it's like 90 bucks, but that is something we got and are going to replace. But it's very easy, it's just pop on and screw on, so not that difficult, but just really funny. Okay, so now getting into the damage of this truck, which is mostly on the front end of this vehicle. The passenger front fender was all crushed, so we got replacement subassembly for that, which is over here. So that's the replacement subassembly. And also the hood was crushed, so we actually picked up a new hood, except it didn't come off of a TRD Pro or a TRD Sport because it doesn't have the hood scoop. Now, I'm personally of the opinion that having no hood scoop is better because the hood scoop on Tacomas are non-functional, and personally I'm short, and when I go off-roading I have trouble seeing over the corner anyways, so having the hood scoop is even worse for me, although I do think it looks really cool. But let me know in the comments down below if you're a hood scoop fan or non-hood scoop fan. But anyways, the skid plate actually stayed intact, but as you can see, it's not on the truck right now. We took it off so that we could get some work done on the frame, because the frame also had some damage, and it's very difficult to see, but if you can see, there's a little part of the top of the frame where it's resting. That's where it actually bent. He got a shop to pull it out and straighten it out, so now the frame is all straightened up, and that cost him around $600. So Frame damage is a little bit scary because when my friend bought this vehicle, he had no idea if it had frame damage or not. We suspected it did, but now that it's taken care of, that's a big relief off of our shoulders. Now there was a little bit of engine damage too. The valve cover right here had a hole poked into it, probably from something that just stabbed it or something. But anyways, because of that, the truck was throwing a code for loss of pressure, so got that replaced. Also, one of the most obvious points of damage is that the intake box was broken off. So while we haven't put it on, we got a TRD intake, which I didn't know was an add-on to the TRD Pros. I thought that came stock with TRD Pros, but I guess it's an add-on. But we got that, and that's something that we're gonna have to put on. Another thing on the front that was damaged was the radiator. It was shifted, and then we got it replaced. And then also this tire rod was bent, so it got put into a press and straightened rather than us replacing it completely. It's good enough for now, and if it needs replacement in the future, we can do that. But straightening it out was just the cheaper option. And then the upper control arm was twisted, so we got that replaced and put a new bolt into. And then coming over to the back side, my guess, and of course we don't know the whole story, was the front end got into a collision and then another car hit the passenger fender on the bed. And it's just crazy because if you live in the Salt Belt, which is what I did for a whole year with my truck, you already take on some rust. Like, this is a brand new 2020 and it's already rusting, obviously because the paint peeled since it got into a collision and the metal was exposed, but it's just crazy how quickly these things rust. Also, we are aware that I believe there is a recall on the super white paint. I think this started chipping because of the collision, but other people have complained on like the little edges of their door or basically anywhere else on the super white 3rd gen Tacomas of the paint peeling. But since that hasn't been an issue for us yet, we're just going to, I think, keep this super white for now, and then maybe eventually we'll wrap it or repaint it. I don't know, maybe you guys can decide on a new color for this if it is in the budget. And lastly, the only big part of damage that happened on the driver's side was the radiator shroud just kind of chipped off or broke off. I don't know, probably from another component hitting it, so that also needs to get replaced. Also, this ratchet strap is just here to hold the battery in. But yeah, this is what a salvaged 2020 TRD Pro looks like. Obviously, there's just so much more work to do on it. Getting the frame straightened was so far probably the most stressful thing that we've done on this truck, but obviously there's just so much other work that needs to be done. I mean, even just the sub-assembly alone is quite a bit of work. But yeah, that's the damage that was done to the truck, and that's the progress we have so far. And now we're gonna wash this thing because I don't know if you could see in previous clips, but the bed is just a little dirty and lots of bugs have gotten on the tailgate. So what's the future of this truck? Are we going to keep it stock? Are we gonna mod it out and make it overland? So obviously the final decision isn't gonna come up to me, it's gonna come up to the owner. But from what I can gather right now, first we're going to try to build it back up to stock, and then we're thinking about possibly overlanding it, basically putting a bed rack in, maybe a rooftop tent. We'll see what the future holds. A lot of it's budgetary. I think it's gonna come down to how much we put into fixing the truck. That's probably going to decide how much we end up doing to the truck afterwards. But I promise you guys, if you follow this build along, it's going to be very interesting. Hopefully you guys will get to learn something, as I know I'm going to be learning a lot. And yeah, I'm just finally excited to be sharing this series with you guys here on my channel. If you guys want to get more real-time and live updates on the build, you can follow me on my Instagram. I am at Chloe Kuo Taco. Thanks again for watching. I hope you'll stay along for this series, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.